Hello children, welcome to today's English class. I hope you all are safe, healthy and happy at home, and a lot of learning is going on these days as you are worried about your examinations. Children, you need not worry at all as you have ample time for your preparation and you had an opportunity to study online too, through this mode of communication, and also you have been learning online from your own school teachers too. Children, in the last few classes we have been revising the writing section and we had learned how to write effective letters in the last 2 classes. We had also discussed about different types of letters and the format and how you can make your letters more creative and effective. So, we had discussed that this year your writing part carries 10 marks, 5 marks for your letter writing and 5 marks for analytical paragraph. Children, we have already discussed analytical paragraph. Let me tell you, it is an analysis, okay, 5 marks for your analytical paragraph. Now, what are you supposed to do when you get a question to analyze a given data? So, it could be in the form of pie charts, it could be in the form of line graph, bar graph or charts or any clues given. So, you are supposed to read the question very carefully because you have to analyze the given data or the report. It is based on case study as we have already discussed. Now, what do you do when you are analyzing? You first look at the given information in the form of bar graph or pie chart or clues or line graph and you try to analyze. Now, what is the topic of the case study or what does the report talk about? What information has been provided for you to analyze? Now, what is analyze, children? What does the word analyze means? Okay. So, it means you have to think about it and then express your opinion or your ideas, and normally what do? You compare the situations. Okay. Like for example, we had talked about the number of road accidents, the number of gadgets used by teenagers, the age group and the teenagers, and you had tried to analyze the graph given and you tried to write the paragraph. So, here you need to see the case study very carefully or the report given on the basis of case study, and then you must try to understand. So, normally you compare. For example, if 2 reports are given, the reports for 2 years, maybe for 2015 or 2019, so you compare. Now, what was the situation in 2015 and now what has happened in 2019? Whatever the topic is being talked about, if we talk about maybe road accidents. So, how many road accidents had occurred in 2015 and now whether the accidents have increased or whether the accidents have decreased. So, you try to compare the situations. For example, if a data is given about the education of girls in a particular state, maybe for 2 years or maybe for 4 years. So, during these 4 years, whether the number of girls going to school has increased or whether it has decreased. Okay. So, whether there is an improvement in the level of education of girls. So, you do analyze, you try to study the situation and you try to compare. So, that is analytical paragraph. Children, this year you do have another type of paragraph that is again based on analysis that we will be discussing. So, this year you have more of application based questions, in all the different sections of your question paper, and also analyze the situation and you relate the situation given to your day to day life, okay, to your own personal situations and also to the issues of the society. What would be your response to the various issues that we face in our day to day life and also in the society? So, you need to come up with your own opinions. Okay? So, you have to update yourself with what is happening. You need to improve your language command so that you are able to express your opinion, you are able to analyze the situation, you are able to critically look at the situation given to you. Many a times the situation is in the form of argument. So, whether you want to put your views in favor of the situation given or whether you want to say something against the situation or condition given to you. So, I hope you are getting a clear picture of how do you analyze a paragraph or how do you analyze the given data and you write it in the form of a paragraph. So, children, we had discussed the format already. Analytical paragraph, as I told you, you have to analyze the given data or the given information and then maybe you begin by comparing the situation. So, maybe there is a proper introduction based on the data and then maybe you put your arguments or maybe your opinion, okay, your analysis, you can say comparison, okay. And then there is also a proper conclusion, okay. So, as I have been talking to you about being creative, so it is how creative you are when you are presenting your ideas, okay. So, the way you begin, maybe in a very impressive way and the way you go about studying or analyzing the situation or the graph or the pie chart or the line graph and then the way you conclude. So, children, let us look at one more example of analytical paragraph. Last time we had looked at bar graphs and line graphs. Now, let us try to look at a pie chart. So, please look at the screen very carefully as I read the question for you, so that we are able to analyze the given information in the form of a pie chart or the information given on the basis of case study, and then let us try to write down the paragraph. The pie charts below show the distribution of the market share of different segments in Indian retail industry from 2010 to 2015. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons wherever relevant. Now, look at the pie chart. So, here you need to understand what is the pie chart based on. It is based on the distribution of the market share of different segments in the Indian retail industry. So, 2010 and 2015. In 2010, if we look at the pie chart, footwear was 8%, food and beverages 21%, consumer durables 18%, clothing and textile 36% and others 17%. Now, in 2015, footwear was 10%, food and beverages 18%, clothing and textile 40% and consumer durables 20%, others 12%. So, now when we look at the pie chart, what do we try to do at first? We try to compare the contribution of these sectors in the economy of our country. So, if we look at the footwear, for example, in 2010 it was 8% and in 2015 it increased to 10%. Now, what about food and beverages? It was 21% and now it became 18%. That means it has come down. Okay? So, there is a reduction here in the food and beverages sector. Now, if we look at consumer durables, it was 18% in 2010, in 2015 it became 20%, that means there is an increase. Now, if we look at clothing and textile, it was 36% in 2010, which became 40% in 2015. Again, there is an increase. Now, if we look at others, it was 17% in 2010 and 2015 it has become 12%. That means it has decreased by about 5%. So, this is how you look at the case study or the information given, okay, or the clues that have been given to you. So, now once we compare and once we try to understand that according to the information given in the pie chart, so what has been the contribution of the different segments in the year 2010 and then in 2015. So, we do compare and then we try to analyze and write our analysis in the form of a paragraph. So, children, I hope you have understood the question. It is very important for you to read the question very carefully and understand. Now, once you have understood the situation, once you have understood the topic of the information given, okay, and then you had tried to compare the situations also. We had looked at both the pie charts of two different years and then we tried to compare whether there was an increase or whether there was a decrease. Now, let us try to write the paragraph. Now, children, I told you that your paragraph can become creative. So, you can display your creativity in the best way in the writing section. So, you could give an attractive heading to the paragraph. So, now this was about the contribution of different segments. Okay. So, you can write the contribution of different sectors or different segment during 2010 and 2015. Okay. So, that could be your heading or you could make your heading or topic more creative based on the information, and once you have written the heading that would make your paragraph more creative once you write the paragraph by writing a heading or a suitable title. So, that could be the way you begin. And then as I told you, the introduction part. So, since here we are talking about the contribution of sectors, so we can begin maybe by the 3 sectors of our Indian economy have greatly contributed or greatly contribute towards the economic development of our country, or they play a significant role, or the different sectors of the Indian economy play a significant role in the economic development of the country. So, they have been providing employment to so many people, they have been contributing in improving the standard of life of people. So, initially 1 or 2 lines could be the introductory line of what exactly the paragraph is going to be about. So, with the heading and with the introductory lines, it becomes clear to the readers that this is what you are going to talk about throughout the paragraph. And then you begin by looking at the pie chart or the histogram or the bar graph, line graph that has been given to you, and then you begin to write your analysis. So, here in this case, let us try to see how do we analyze the given pie charts. So, the 2 pie charts compare the distribution of segments in the Indian retail sector during 2010 and 2015. So, the significant segments for the retail sector in India were clothing and textile, comprising approximately 40% of the total market share, whereas footwear and other sectors were the minor contributors in the Indian retail industry. As we can see, clothing and textile consisted of 37% in the first year and showed an insignificant increase of only 3% in 2015. On the contrary, in 2010, the proportion of food and beverages fell marginally to 18% in 10 years. With reference to the market share of the other 2 constituents of retail industry, there was an approximate 4% growth in consumer durable, whereas footwear segment rose by 2% in 2015. On the other side, the market share of other segments declined by 5% in 2015, by 17% to 12%. So, now this was our observation of the data given, or this was the analysis we had done about the contribution of different sectors. Now, you may conclude by giving your opinion as to how could the contribution of the sectors which were not really good in their contribution in 2010 and then in 2015, maybe their contribution was not very satisfactory. So, what could the government do? How could we make use of the technology, and how could the policies and plans of government help in the better contribution of these sectors? So, that could be your conclusion. The government can make plans and policies for the development of these sectors, and by providing the best technology and by providing better infrastructure, so that the different sectors bring a significant increase in the contribution towards the economic development of the country. So, this is how you have concluded the passage or your paragraph. So, I hope children you are getting an idea of how do we analyze the given situation. So, I hope now you are becoming confident of writing analytical paragraph. So, children, this year in the pattern of question paper issued by the CBSE, so you have a choice between two analytical paragraphs. So, one was based on pie charts, line graph, histogram or charts or clues. That is one type of question which we have already practiced and revised. Now, let us look at the other type of situation where again you have to analyze and give your analysis the shape of a paragraph. So, now let us look at the question and then try to understand how we are supposed to analyze. So, this particular question I have taken from the sample paper of 2021 that was issued by the CBSE. Now, maybe this might sound new for you, or maybe you feel this is totally a new type of question that has come up this year, but this is again analysis and kind of analytical paragraph. So, read the following excerpt from an article that appeared in the magazine section of the local daily. Now, this particular excerpt has been taken from a newspaper, local newspaper. And now, let us try to read the situation given. The ban on single use plastic is impractical. The purpose of articles like bags and packaging is ultimately to make human life easier. Plastic articles do this well. So, they should not be banned. Write a paragraph to analyze the given argument. You could think about what alternative explanations might weaken the given conclusion and include rational evidence that would strengthen, counter the given argument. Now, children, you need to understand the situation. Now, when you read this particular excerpt, you might have been shocked, because we talk of clean and green environment, we talk of the harmful effects of plastic, and here it talks about not banning the plastic. So, I hope you would definitely not agree with this statement. So, this situation has been given to you so that you could come up with your argument against this particular statement or the conclusion that has been given here, that the plastic articles should not be banned. Okay? So, now what you have to do, look at the question. You have to think about alternative explanations that might prove this statement wrong, because you will definitely say that plastic is very harmful and they are not biodegradable. Okay? So, it is very harmful not only for human beings, but for animals and the environment too. So, now how you are going to prove your statement or prove this particular statement wrong? So, here again you need to analyze why this particular statement has come up. Okay. So, you have to put forth strong statements, okay, in support of your opinion or view regarding this particular statement. So, this is the situation, children. So, you need to understand the situation. The ban on single use plastic is impractical. Now, everywhere the talk is about banning the single use plastic, and here it says it is impractical, it is not possible. because they say we have been using plastic bags and packaging materials, that makes our life easy. So, they say plastic articles, they help us in doing so, so they should not be banned. So, how would you, make your own arguments strong? So, then maybe you begin with a proper introduction, by saying that, as we move ahead in the modern technological world, okay, we do face a lot of challenges as far as the utilization of resources is concerned, and because of human activities we do face a lot of challenges, okay, regarding the innumerable gifts bestowed by Mother Nature, and we are endangering not only the present generation or our own lives, but even we are putting the lives of the future generation too in dark. So, maybe some fine introductory lines about the innumerable gifts of Mother Nature, or you can talk about how the environment is very important for us. So, you may begin with 1 or 2 lines, and then you will because in the introduction you have mentioned about human activities that pollute the environment. So, environmental pollution is a major concern before the world. It has become a global problem or issue. So, you can begin by 2-3 lines, and then you can support your statement against this particular conclusion, that is plastic articles should not be banned. Okay. So, then you can say that how they are harmful, how they pollute the environment, and how it affects the different creatures on this earth, okay, and how we have been suffering due to our own activities of polluting the environment. And then you could come up with suggestions that instead of plastic, we can use cloth bags, we can use jute products, we can use paper bags, okay. We can turn back to a natural life, eco-friendly products. So, we can come up with lot of suggestions and support the statement that our requirement of articles like bags and packaging can be fulfilled with so many other alternative eco-friendly products. So, that is how you are supposed to prove your statement or your argument correct, and you need to argue against this particular statement. So, children, I hope this is clear to you that if such a situation is given to you, how you are going to analyze the situation, how you are going to begin, and how you are going to put forth strong statements, and then how you are going to conclude the paragraph. So, I request you to please note down the situation, or even you can get this question paper on the net, and then try to write down this paragraph. I will also give you another situation for you to practice, so that you get an idea of how to solve the question related to paragraph for analysis when a particular situation is given to you. Now, look at this particular situation and try to understand. With the population increasing exponentially by the year, the need for urbanization also arises. To accommodate a growing population and solve issues like congestion, forests have to be cleared. The lands cleared in such a manner are being used for widening of roads, making more parking spaces, residential spaces, industrial complexes, etc. these projects help make life easier and more comfortable. As a replacement, thousands of saplings can be planted. So, children, let us try to analyze this particular situation. Okay. So, here the situation is that the population has been increasing. We have we all are aware of the population explosion in different parts of the world, and even our own country faces the problem of population. Okay. So, as population increases, urbanization is required, and when urbanization starts, we do need buildings, we do need roads, railways, residential places, and there are various projects to make our life easier and comfortable. So, what do? We do cut down trees, deforestation takes place. So, here it says that it is okay if we cut down trees, because we can plant thousands of trees, if we cut down trees it does not matter, but we talk about afforestation, we are fighting against deforestation to make our environment clean and green. So, how are you going to express your opinion against this particular situation, that it is not right to cut down trees, though you may plant so many trees in future, but it is not right to cut down trees in order to make our life comfortable or to fulfill our never ending desires. So, it is not right on the part of the government or any agencies to allow deforestation. So, you have to talk about this particular situation, that it is not right. We need to protest deforestation, we need to plant more trees. So, we have to find another alternative for making our life comfortable. So, I hope you will try to write this particular paragraph 2, and I hope you have understood how you have to analyze a given situation and write an effective analytical paragraph. In the next class, I will see you with a new topic. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay at home.